So this is Unit 5, Lesson 10. You're looking for a task list for U5L10. I posted as both an announcement and an assignment. Just to check in first, obviously, please make sure you're checking grades and catching up on missing assignments. Grades are due on the 8th, and so you have until June 7th to get everything in. Ideally, you would get it before then, but I will allow you to do that up until that point. I broke down some statistics from our farming and space case study, and so if you're curious, across all 4 sections that I teach, I have a little table there in the tasks list. The top criteria by far were water usage, time to grow, and yield. Or actually, sorry, I should say water usage and time to harvest were far above by 10 votes anything else. So clearly that's what everyone had on their minds when they were selecting their crops. And it turns out that across all 4 classes, peas, wheat, and potatoes were the top crops. Also, again, those were by far in the lead to anything else. You can click on the actual document to see the raw data. For your class section in particular, it looks like the crops were, peas were number 1, so you were in line with that, but then potatoes and peanuts. So you actually had one crop that you selected in your top 3 that ended up not being in the top 3 of the classes overall, which is kind of interesting, but good to think about. And those align with some of the top 3 crops that we know are widely eaten. So any other questions or comments on the statistics from our case study? All right, then I want to conclude. Oh yeah, Olivia?
It's not about the case study, but about grades being due on the 8th. Are the report cards due on the 8th, or just that's the end of for late work?
That's when we have to submit grades. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then report cards will come out after that, I think. So okay. Yeah, so again, by the 7th would be the best time to have that done. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know when grades will be released. It'll be sometime after the 8th. So, all right, I want to conclude the case study with 2 Edpuzzle videos that are showing opposing views about space exploration. One is supporting, one is against. Please watch them in order. The first one is a Bill Maher video. I'll warn you, there's a little bit of profanity and some political critique in it. The second one is a old video of President John F. Kennedy giving a speech. They're both only about 2 minutes long. If you can't get the Edpuzzle to work, I posted the actual videos down below. You can just watch those, and there's a Google form that matches the questions that would be in Edpuzzle. So I'll give you 10 minutes to do that, and then we'll come back together to review. Go for it. All right, everybody, 10 minutes has passed. Let's come back together. Looks like most of you on Edpuzzle have finished up. I changed my garb to match our summer dress. I just saw that email that we're supposed to be wearing our summer colors. All right, so these videos show 2 what I would consider opposing views. And looking over answers now, seeing a lot of agreement with Bill Maher. So how do you feel about these 2 different arguments? Do you feel like we should be, forgetting about Mars and focusing on our planet, and that's where the money should be spent? Or should we be, dare to be bold and go out and journey into space and explore? Where do some of you stand on that? Anyone got a strong opinion?
I feel like both, but like we need to focus on this planet first, and then once we sort of get that under control, then we can go to Mars. Yeah.
I agree. Like, I think it would be great to do like exploration. Like, that would be a major breakthrough. Like, now that he's like pointing out all those points, if we don't put like our energy into the planet we have, like, it's gonna end up that we just like don't have a planet and we don't have Mars, and then Earth is gonna fall apart.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, one of my other classes, a student brought up a good point about like, well, then what's next? Like, where do we go after we ruin Mars? Which is kind of a funny idea to be like, is this just what humans are doing? We just move to a planet, live off of all of its resources, and then move on to the next one. So yeah, and I think there was a consensus that you guys seem to definitely side more with on the Bill Maher side and focusing on Earth. A lot of my classes were like, well, there's got to be a way to somehow do both, where we can care for our planet, but also continue to explore space. It does sadly all come down to funding, and where the money comes from. And so I do think he makes a good point about how, slashing the budget for the EPA and funding space exploration might not be the most efficient thing, right? We should continue to care for our planet, But there's other sources of money that could do this. And it turns out that, again, SpaceX, is an example of a private company which is now launching people in space. So it wouldn't surprise me if things go well that even within your generation, you will have the option to buy a ticket to go into space. Maybe not necessarily the moon or anything like that, but at least getting into low Earth orbit might become like a tourism thing. Who knows? So kind of exciting. This kind of came up for me too years ago when I was in the Peace Corps, when I was teaching in the Gambia in West Africa. I don't remember exactly what was happening. I think one of the Mars rovers had just landed and they were getting images back from it. And so BBC Radio was just talking about it constantly. And all the other teachers at the Gambian school I was teaching at were listening to BBC. And they kept reporting about how the whole mission, the robot, it all cost like, $80 billion or something like that to get it up there. And all my teachers were like, can you believe that much money? Like, how much money would that feed, people here in West Africa? How many kids could go to school with that much money? And they kind of made a good point, but I was like, you could analyze that from any perspective. I mean, look at the funding that's spent on any number of other things. I talked about how much the average American spends on their pet, and it's just because that's just the culture. It's the difference there. So, but kind of an ongoing thing that I think people like to discuss. So. All right, any other questions or comments?
We do spend a lot of money on things that we just don't need, and it would be easy to just reassign the money. It's ridiculous how much money we spend on certain things. Like our military budget is more than that will cost us in 13 years.
Yep.
Like the 2033 goal isn't just yearly. It's up till 2033. Our defense budget is like 600 billion at this point, and it keeps going up.
Yeah, that's a good point. I asked when I was recruited into the Peace Corps. One of the questions I asked my recruiter was like, what's Peace Corps' funding? What's Peace Corps' budget? And he wouldn't tell me, but he said that it's almost as much as the U.S. puts into military advertising, which I was like, wow, that puts it in perspective there. That's true. All right. I wanted to conclude the Mars colonization's case study we just did. I encourage you to keep exploring that if you're curious about it, and keep watching what's going on with SpaceX. The astronauts are on the ISS right now, which is kind of exciting. So hopefully there's no COVID-19 breakout on the ISS. That would not be good. But all right. So next thing I want to do is I want to make sure that you have some time to give some feedback about the course. So if you look on the tasks list, this is step 3, feedback. There's a short Google form. It's just 3 questions. It's actually 4 questions, but you only need to answer 3 of them depending on whether you took PSI or not last year. But I'd like to give you 10 minutes just to answer those questions. And just know that these are completely anonymous. I'm not collecting your email or your name or anything like that. The more thoughtful you are with your answers and the more explanation you give, the better. It's helpful for me, and it's going to be helpful for future Science 2 students. The survey is getting you to reflect on the entire year in Science 2, but more specifically our most recent time in remote learning too, because I don't know what next year is going to look like yet, but it's possible that we'll either be starting online or we'll have a both in-class and online component. And so the more feedback we can get on how this has gone so far will be helpful. So give us about 10 minutes to work on that, and then we'll come back together. Go for it. What I'd like you to do is first just open the link to our Flipgrid topic, the Sci2H Final Rube Goldberg machine share. Most of you looks like have uploaded videos. Tammy, I got the videos that you emailed to me, so I'm going to upload those right now. So keep an eye out for Tammy's. Those will pop in at some point. Did anyone else have trouble uploading the Flipgrid? Because I can help. If you email it to me, I can throw it up there. So Kiara, you had trouble?
Oh, yeah, I had trouble. Like, I don't know. I had it on my phone, and I tried to upload it on my phone, but it didn't work. So
okay, try emailing it to me. So send it as an attachment via email. You can do that through your phone too, just to my school email, and I can try to upload it through my. We've got like high-speed internet here at school, so I can usually throw things online pretty quickly. So good. So work on that once I let everybody go. Anyone else have trouble? Okay, so here's how this is going to work. You're going to watch everybody's videos. I encourage you to leave a little response, or if you want to record a video response, you're not required to do that, but Flipgrid's built for that. So if you want to show some love to your classmates, please do so. You're going to vote on 5 awards: best overall machine, coolest single step or mechanism, most likely to get out of control and destroy the house. You can interpret that however you want. Most complicated or complex, and best decorated. The voting form is right down in the middle there. I think it's the 5th bullet point down. So once you've watched all the videos, vote on that Google form. And you're welcome to rewatch videos if you need to. All voting is completely anonymous. There's no email or name recorded. Please don't vote for yourself. Vote for your other classmates. And try to vote for a different person for each of the awards so we can spread the love around a little bit. Any questions on that? Okay, I just want to have 10 minutes left before the end of class when we come back so we can review the awards and I can say some goodbyes. So let's try to come back together at 9:30, which gives us about 20 minutes to work on this. So I'll time for 20 minutes and then we'll come back together to review. Go for it. All right, everybody, it has been more than time. Hopefully you're able to get through everybody's videos. I just got through the last one. So what'd you think? I was awesome. Very impressed by some of those machines. So Luna, I like that you had 2 machines and but had a good fun little theme, like sea theme, ocean theme. That children's toy is called a xylophone. Kind of a weird name for a mechanism. But Keone, yours was nice. So it looked like you had a couple assists in there to get it to run to the end, but good otherwise. Ethan, same thing. I like how intricate yours was going back and forth. Ria, I thought watering your plant was awesome. Very also intricate. I like that you kept it all on the one board. Looked like you kind of missed the plant right there at the end though, but otherwise worked perfectly. So Olivia, yours was awesome with the frontline workers. I thought that was so cool. Have any of the delivery men used it at all?
No, we're planning to use it at least once before we
Take it down.
take it down because
Yeah.
every time we ordered something, we were like still working on it.
Yeah.
And now we like haven't ordered anything.
Yeah. Well, anyway, that was awesome. Really good use of a doorbell and all that stuff. Tammy, it was really fun. Yours was great. And then the balloon like escaped the knife right at the end. It was like, no. But you fixed that for sure. Lila, it was fun seeing yours goes downstairs. I liked the little celebration after the balloon popped. I thought that was funny. Lily, yours looked good too. It moved really fast. It was kind of funny watching you try to like keep up with yours with the camera. Milena, really well decorated. What was there? I feel like there's something snoring in the background. Do you have a dog that was snoring or something?
Yeah, that was my dog. Like, for my Flipgrid, like every time I recorded, it wouldn't like load. But then the one time it did load, my dog was sleeping like 2 feet from where I was recording.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not gonna redo it. So
it was kind of fitting though, that because you were giving water to your dog, so I thought that was good. So yeah, Landon, that looked like a delicious little cup of tea that you made at the very end of yours there. So, all right.
Thank you.
So great job. If you weren't able to upload a video, please just reach out to me and let me know. I can help. You can email me a video, whatever else, but I'll post it up there so people can check it out later if they want to as well. All right, kiddos. I know it's weird to assign homework, but the only homework is to make sure that you have filled out the course survey, which you should have all done, and check your grades for missing assignments. Make sure you've completed all 4 parts of the case study we just did. Anything else that's missing, you have until the 7th to get in and graded. Please reach out to me if you need help on any of it, and we can get your grade entered and reflective on all the work that you have done. Beyond there, I just want to say thank you very much to all of you for being awesome students and being very patient. This was my first year teaching Science 2 and my first year teaching an integrated science. And so it was, we did a lot of labs together. It was my first time through them. And so I appreciate your patience with that. And you guys stayed engaged even when we transitioned to online learning. I was been so impressed with how you guys have kept up with the work. You've showed up for class every single time. And so I can't. It's a big thing for you to do, and so I'm very impressed and very thankful that you were able to do that. So keep on being curious about science and the research out there. You live in an exciting time, and I hope to see some of you next year, and maybe some of the semester courses, and moving on in science. So please stay safe and stay healthy out there over the summer, and I hope you have a very good summer. All right, kids, that's it for me. Thank you very much. Have a good one.
Thank you,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Hayes.
Thank you, Mr.
Yeah.
Hayes.
Great.
Have a good